I'm working on making these fabric covered buttons for Nico, since I have some fabric that I can use because I have this fabric that'll be trim. I'm definitely going to need to buy another pack of buttons, but so far so good. Picked up this cotton fabric for the main bodice of the uniform, and I was originally just going to get a swatch, but then the store was like, actually this is on back order. So then I ended up going on Etsy and just buying a half yard as a swatch just to like make sure that I liked it, and I do. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it out on the pattern pieces of like what I can cut, since there's enough for 2 of the bodice pieces to be cut. But my only complaint is that I wish it was like, I guess on this camera's lighting it's a big difference. In person it's like less noticeable how different the colors are, and this looks less dark in comparison, but on camera that actually looks really good. So I guess that works. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have picked out the bow fabric before the bodice fabric, but I was waiting on swatches, so I just went for it. Gone ahead and cut out the side front and side back pieces with the fabric that I have, but I'm not going to stitch them together yet, since I'll attach the side front and middle front and the side back and middle back together, and then I'll attach them at like the side here, but that's at least something that I don't have to cut out later. Next thing I'm going to work on tonight is making a little like race bib for Gold Chip. Thursday night for Katsu, I'm going to just be running around in that version, since it's more casual, since I'll basically just be wearing gym clothes. So I've got a cotton like 4 layers of cotton rectangles that I'm gonna interface and then stitch 2 of them together, so then I'll have like a front and a back. And then got some straps, and I will use some of these little rings to attach them. Pretty much finished with the bib now. Went ahead and did the iron on. I think the last thing I need to do for it is I'm going to put snaps on this, so that way I can have a nice closure system to take it on and off. Yeah, I'm really happy. It's not too bad to make. My Snow Halation Nico boots have definitely seen some better days, but I'm just going to try and paint the missing spots and see how that ends up looking, so I don't feel like making new boots for this con. If you look at it closely, it's kind of ugly, but if you don't look at it closely, I feel like it's good enough. So I'm just gonna see how that dries. I think it blends in well enough with the original paint that I'm not gonna repaint the whole shoe. I've pretty much gathered everything for my Nico cosplay, so while the boots are drying, I'm gonna go ahead and pack that up. Went ahead and airbrushed a coat of black paint onto the horseshoes, and then after that dries, I'm going to do a coat of gold. Gone ahead and finished the horseshoe and then stitched it on. I already managed to snap off one of like the loops for attaching it, so I just glued on a little bit of felt and then used the felt to stitch it on. But I'm pretty happy with how it looks. It's not my best work of sanding or painting. My fabric should be arriving today finally, so I'm going to cut out all my fabric today and then start sewing Nico stuff tomorrow. Pretty much only going to be working on sewing Nico up until like January 31st, because I entered in for the masquerade for Amp Key, and you have to have like 70% of the cosplay done with like photos on a Google Drive, so I have to grind that out during the next 30 or until the 31st, and then hopefully I have enough of it done that they consider letting me in. We'll have to see. It's my first time going to Ampke, and so it'll be my first time competing there. I usually like to compete like once a year at a con just for funsies, but after that I'm gonna have to like lock in and work on other things too. We'll see. I might get bored of working on Nico and start working on other stuff because I feel like I could knock out my Taehyun outfit in like a day, so fun times. Our fabric is finally here. We have white fabric for the Womusume uniform dresses for me and my friend. This is for Nico's apron. This is so I can cut out that last skirt panel I need. This is for Nico's shirt. I got it just to see because it was really cheap, but I might use this for Nico's bow. I need to like color match it in person and see if it'll work. This is for some detailing for Nico. This is going to be the outer fabric for the bunny suit, and then I got canvas for the interlining since I was not about to spend money on Kotil. This probably won't get touched until after Katsu, but I did get some organza to make a petticoat for Nico, but that's a problem for later. And lastly, we have this fabric for my Feel Special outfit. Gone ahead and cut out all of the apron pattern pieces, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the overcast stitch on the edges for all of it. I got tired of doing the overcast stitching, so I went ahead and attached the outer layer together for the middle front and then the side front, press the seams, and so now I'm gonna go ahead and put bias tape down this part here. And then here is the bias tape. I made it yesterday, or at least I cut out the strips yesterday, and then I couldn't find my bias tape maker for the 1/2 inch, so I put that on hold and finally found it today, so now I'm gonna be able to use this. My thread ran out while I was working on doing all the overcasting for some extra pieces, and I was like, oh well, guess I don't have to work on this for the rest of the day, but I do have 2 rolls of brown thread just in my thread stash. I don't know why I have 2 brown rolls of thread. I don't know what I would have bought so much of it for, but I did buy it apparently, so I guess that means I do have to continue working on this, which is brutal. Finally finished this big long piece that'll be the bottom apron skirt ruffle. Did not love doing that, but this fabric frays like crazy, so this will be very nice for actually like keeping it from shredding over time. I didn't have luck with shoes at Goodwill, but I was able to pick up this shirt and this pair of jeans for my Alba cosplay. Here's a look at the little apron skirt. Happy with how that is laying. It'll get some ruffles along the bottom and then some trim where the apron skirt and then the ruffles meet. So yeah. Probably won't be touching this at all until I get more of Nico done, but I did get all of my Taehyun fabric cut out. Only issue is I ran out of fabric even though I got 3 yards, so I need to get 1 more yard and then I can do the full like sleeve ruffles. But I can do pretty much everything else. I need like 10 total like little like sleeves, little ruffle things, and I have like half of them. Now understitched every single piece, so I'm gonna sew the front lining pieces together and then sew the shoulder seams of the lining pieces together. Front seams are sewn. There's the shoulder seams. One side of slip stitching is done. Not too bad. A little bit messy, but I don't know what happened down here. This is when I started. Probably should have done a practice run, but yeah, not bad. I just have the other side now. Second one is done. So now I'm gonna attach the front pieces together to the back pieces at the shoulder seams, so then we can look at trying to line it. So I went ahead and cut out a big ass rectangle for the back bow out of 2 layers of brown fabric and then a layer of buckram. The base of the bow is done. I just did like a kind of like zigzag stitch here to attach the 2 outside sides together, and then this will get crunched like that to make a bow. But first, on the outside parts, I need to make bias tape in this color that is like 1/2 inch double fold, I think, or 1 inch single fold is what it would be, I guess, but I need it to be about this wide but double fold. So more bias tape time, and then that's gonna go along all the outside parts, and then I'll scrunch it and sew it down, probably hand sew it, and then make a wrap for the center as well. And then I think I'll attach it to the dress with snaps, but I've also got to make bow tails somehow and figure out where I want to attach those, so progress at least. Got one side stitched down on both of the top and bottom for the bias tape, and then now I've got to slip stitch it on the inside so that it is really nice and clean. Okay, so we attached the trim to the apron and the apron lining, and then I'm just gonna have to hand stitch the understitching for this side. I did as far as I could, which was not that far, but you can very much see how much the understitching helps, because there it's like sitting very nicely, and then once it stops, then it really starts to roll out, especially with how thick the rickrack is. So that's not going to be fun, but I'm gonna do it because it'll look nicer. But yeah, that'll probably be this is probably the last update for this week. Wasn't able to do much with being out of town and being without fabric for most of this last couple weeks, so we're locking in for the next week or two.